A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. An unwise king destroys his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority the city will be inhabited. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. In the hand of God is the prosperity of man, and upon the person of the scribe will he lay his honor. Bear not hatred to your neighbor for every wrong, and do nothing at all by injurious practices. Pride is hateful before God and man, and by both does one commit iniquity. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man, for such a one sets his own soul to sale, because while he lives he casts away his bowels. The physician cuts off a long disease, and he that is today a king, tomorrow will die. For when a man is dead, he will inherit creeping things, beasts, and worms. The beginning of pride is when one departs from God, and his heart is turned away from his Maker. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that has it will pour out abomination. And therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities, and overthrew them utterly. The Lord has cast down the thrones of proud princes, and set up the meek in their stead. The Lord has plucked up the roots of the proud nations, and planted the lowly in their place. The Lord overthrew countries of the heathen, and destroyed them to the foundations of the earth. He took some of them away, and destroyed them, and has made their memorial to cease from the earth. Pride was not made for men, nor furious anger for them that are born of a woman. They that fear the Lord are a sure seed, and they that love him an honorable plant. They that regard not the law are a dishonorable seed. They that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed. Among the brethren, he that is chief is honorable. So are they that fear the Lord in his eyes. The fear of the Lord goes before the obtaining of authority, but roughness and pride is the losing thereof. Whether he be rich, noble, or poor, their glory is the fear of the Lord. It is not meet to despise the poor man that has understanding, neither is it convenient to magnify a sinful man. Great men and judges and potentates will be honored, yet is none greater than he that fears the Lord. To the servant that is wise will they that are free do service, and he that has knowledge will not grudge when he is reformed. Be not overwise in doing your business, and boast not yourself in the time of distress. Better is he that labors and abounds in all things, than he that boasts himself and wants bread. My son, glorify your soul in meekness, and give it honor according to the dignity thereof. Who will justify him that sins against his own soul? And who will honor him that dishonors his own life? The poor man is honored for his skill, and the rich man is honored for his riches. He that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches? And he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty? Wisdom lifts up the head of him that is of low degree, and makes him to sit among great men. Commend not a man for his beauty, neither abhor a man for his outward appearance. The bee is little among such a fly, but her fruit is the chief of sweet things. Boast not of your clothing and raiment, and exalt not yourself in the day of honor. For the works of the Lord are wonderful, and his works among men are hidden. Many kings have sat upon the ground, and one that was never thought of has worn the crown. Many mighty men have been greatly disgraced, and the honorable delivered into other men's hands. Blame not before you have examined the truth. Understand first, and then rebuke. Answer not before you have heard the cause, neither interrupt men in the midst of their talk. Strive not in a manner that concerns you not, and sit not in judgment with sinners. My son, meddle not with many matters, for if you meddle much, you will not be innocent, and if you follow after, you will not obtain, neither will you escape by fleeing. There is one that labors and takes pains, and makes haste, and is so much the more behind. Again, there is another that is slow, and has need of help, wanting ability, and full of poverty. Yet the eye of the Lord looked upon him for good, and set him up from his low estate, and lifted up his head from misery, so that many that saw it marveled at him. Prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come from the Lord. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the law are of the Lord. Love and the way of good works are from him. Error and darkness had their beginning together with sinners, and evil will wax old with them that glory therein. The gift of the Lord remains with the godly, and his favor brings prosperity forever. There is that waxes rich by his wariness and pinching, and this is the portion of his reward. Whereas he said, I have found rest, and now will eat continually of my goods. And yet he knows not what time will come upon him, that he must leave those things to others and die. Be steadfast in your covenant, and be conversant therein, and wax old in your work. Marvel not at the work of sinners, but trust in the Lord, and abide in your labor. For it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord, on the sudden, to make a poor man rich. The blessing of the Lord is in the reward of the godly, and he suddenly makes his blessing flourish. Say not, what profit is there of my service, and what good things will I have hereafter? Again, say not, I have enough, and possess many things, and what evil will I have hereafter? In the day of prosperity there is a forgetfulness of affliction, and in the day of affliction there is no more remembrance of prosperity. For it is an easy thing to the Lord in the day of death to reward a man according to his ways. The affliction of an hour makes a man forget pleasure, and in his end his deeds will be discovered. Judge none blessed before his death, for a man will be known in his children. Bring not every man into your house, for the deceitful man has many trains. Like as a partridge taken and kept in a cage, so is the heart of the proud, and like as a spy, he watches for your fall. For he lies in wait, and turns good into evil, and in things worthy of praise will he lay blame upon you. Of a spark of fire a heap of coals is kindled, and a sinful man lays wait for blood. Take heed of a mischievous man, for he works wickedness, lest he bring upon you a perpetual blot. Receive a stranger into your house, and he will disturb you, and turn you out of your own.